Hi everybody, welcome back to Karen Puzzles. Today I have a very special guest. It is my sister, Katie Puzzles.
Hi everybody!
So I've gotten a handful of questions over the years asking why I have never showed a Puzz3D on my channel before. And the reason for that is because Katie is the Puzz3D expert. So I wanted to wait until we could be together so that she could show us all how to do them. But before we get into it, I have something very special that I want to tell you all about. So today's video is sponsored by the Curiosity Box, which is the subscription box for thinkers. I was so excited when the team from the Curiosity Box reached out to me because I have been good friends with Jake Roper from Vsauce3 for a few years now. I love everything that he makes. I know that his team puts a ton of thought and effort into every single thing that they make. Okay, so this is a subscription box that comes out seasonally, and in this one they have not one, but two puzzles. Two puzzles! So we have the Snake Cube puzzle, which starts out as a cube, and then when you open it up, it turns into a snake, and you have to figure out how to get it back into a cube. So you have fun with that.
Great.
And then we also have the Diagonal Burr puzzle, which starts out as just like a cool coffee table object, and it's easy to take apart. Well, I'll get that piece later. But then once you have all the pieces, it's pretty difficult to put back together. So maybe we can work on this one later. So Curiosity Box subscribers get a new delivery every season. You get over $100 worth of stuff in here for under $50. You'll get science toys, books, t-shirts, puzzles, and you also get curriculum cards, which explain the science behind each item, and they give you additional experiments to try at home. And part of the proceeds from these boxes goes towards Alzheimer's research. Yeah, how are you doing over there, Katie?
This is not easy.
So if you want to sign up, you can go to curiositybox.com. And this is perfect because I'm home for a week, so now we have so many activities to do. But for now, let's put this away and dig into the Puzz3Ds. Alright, so when I was choosing which puzzles for us to do, I wanted to do something colorful, something not too crazy difficult, and so I decided to pick the Tiffany lamp, which is an actual lamp. It actually lights up. So we got this one. Where did we get this one?
I think our dad picked it up at a flea market at some point in the last 2 decades.
Yeah, not the last 2 years, last 2 decades, and it's just been in the house. So once we chose this one, though, I went onto eBay just to kind of, look at it, and I realized that there are 2 different versions. So you can see that the one that we had is sort of like a vertical box, and then this version is like a horizontal box. And we realized that this version is made by Hasbro. This version is made by Revit. Why do you think that is?
Revit, the company that first originally made Puzz3Ds, went through a couple of business ownership changes over the years.
Yeah, so we're not quite sure which one came first, and we think the design of the actual puzzle is exactly the same, but that's kind of what we're gonna find out. Alright, so now let's also just take a quick look at the back so you can get a sense of what we're going to be making. Did you notice any differences between them?
I think they're actually the same. They don't show all of the same views. The box I have shows a little bit more of it broken down. We have a couple different versions of the top of it, where yours doesn't have quite as much, but from what I can tell, I think the design is exactly the same.
So this one I bought off of eBay, still sealed. This one, as we said, it was from a garage sale, so it had been done before, and actually all of the sections were already together inside the box. We just took it apart before starting to film. Alright, let's see what's inside.
We have a bunch of cardboard pieces. We have some instructions, and then we also have some electronics. So this is the lamp that'll go inside and the battery pack.
I love puzzles with battery packs.
And then the main event, we have a bag with all of the pieces. So there are quite a few pieces in here that are already assembled, so I'm going to break those apart as I go.
So what are all of these red dot pieces?
Red dot pieces are something that is very specific to Puzz3Ds. So the way that Puzz3Ds are actually created in the factory is they're printed as one giant full sheet, as a regular jigsaw puzzle that is not a Puzz3D would be. But with a Puzz3D, you end up with all of this extra space. All of those extra spots have a series of little red dots on them so that you could go in and separate those out and know that those are not actually part of the puzzle.
So something else that we noticed is that the foam on this specific puzzle is a little different from normal Puzz3D foam. Do you want to talk about your theory?
Yeah, so when we opened up this puzzle, I realized that the foam on this is different than every single other Puzz3D I have ever done. My theory on this is that because it's a lamp, they wanted the foam to be a little bit looser and lighter to let the light through. I don't know how hot this light bulb is going to get. It's very small. I don't think it'll heat up very much, but theoretically that's part of it too, to let heat out better. Oh, this one does the weird thing.
What weird thing? It does a weird thing?
You have red dot pieces that are also these.
What? Tell the audience at home, what does that mean?
So one other weird thing that I'm noticing on this puzzle as I'm breaking apart pieces.
So now I'm just quickly going to open up mine, but I think it should be pretty much all the same stuff.
I think Karen's is actually first, because the design of these instructions I think is the older version, whereas mine is the newer version.
All right, so let's just clear some of this stuff off the desk, and then we'll actually start putting the puzzles together. All right, it's time to get started. So what is your normal strategy when you start a Puzz3D?
I usually don't sort out the whole thing at the beginning. I usually pick a section and just start pulling those out.
Meanwhile, I've decided that I am going to sort everything, and I actually added my red dot pieces back in because we are not building the lamps quite yet. First, we're putting together the flat sheet. And I just want to give credit where credit is due. You've seen me do this in previous other 3D puzzle videos that I've done. And Katie is the one who came up with this. I only started doing it because she did it first.
I realized it would be just really interesting to see how the Puzz3D was actually designed in the flat sheet format. And I decided to put together what the entire flat sheet would look like first before doing the actual three-dimensional construction into whatever building it was.
So I have just finished my sorting. I have all of the brown pieces, I have all of the colorful pieces, and then these are the smaller red dot pieces, which there's a lot of them, so I'll just kind of work on those as I go. Meanwhile, Katie has already started putting it together. Tell us about your progress.
Yeah, so I'm working on what I think is the base of the puzzle, so I have a good chunk over here. All of these will connect. I'm pretty sure this is just one section, and then I'll move on to a different part of the puzzle.
And why do you decide not to sort everything from the beginning?
Usually I don't have enough space. I don't have quite the same puzzle studio as you have, so I don't always have enough room to lay everything out. This is also one of the smaller Puzz3Ds that I've done. My more recent ones have been more in the 500 to 1,000 range.
Yeah, we should say that this is a relatively small Puzz3D. It's only, less than 300 pieces. Although that is only the real pieces. That doesn't count the red dot pieces that we are currently working with because we're crazy.
Yeah, Puzz3Ds have a huge range in size. The largest one that I've ever done was the New York City puzzle, which is 3,141 pieces. I spent an entire summer on that in high school, whereas the smallest ones are less than 50 pieces and are more for kids.
So Katie, why Puzz3Ds? Why do you like them so much?
I like that it's getting to do a jigsaw puzzle as a normal jigsaw puzzle, but then there's more to it. I've always liked building things. I went to school for engineering for a long time, so I love that you get to both do a jigsaw puzzle and then also construct a building or something else when you're done with that jigsaw puzzle.
So how many Puzz3Ds have you done?
It depends a little bit on how you define it. I think there are about 38 that I have in my personal collection that are scattered throughout our parents' house here. When I was in high school, my homeroom teacher also had a few in the classroom, so I did another 3 there, maybe. So somewhere around 40 total, which is nowhere near all of them.
Let us know in the comments if you want to see a full tour of her Puzz3D collection next time we're both home. Hey look, I finished my base.
Well, I'm still missing 2 pieces on mine.
So how did you get started with Puzz3Ds in the first place? I'll be honest, I don't remember a time before us having Puzz3Ds in the house.
That's fair. So as best as I can put together the history of this, because we weren't taking quite as many pictures 20 years ago, I think in 1998, 1999, somewhere around there, our mom must have learned about these probably through the Bits and Pieces catalog and saw that there was a grandfather clock Puzz3D, which she got for both of us.
That was our first one.
Yes, it was pretty cool. It came with a little clock face and batteries that you could put in it. This Tiffany lamp actually came out right around the same time, so maybe Puzz3D was going through a bit of a phase of putting actual working things into their puzzles.
The furniture phase? Sure. You can make a whole house out of Puzz3D.
So we both did the grandfather clock Puzz3D, and then, as best I can theorize, because I was 9-10 years old at the time, Karen was ambivalent about them, and I was super into it, so Karen did not get any more Puzz3Ds.
Yes, I got some of the mini ones.
But I really, really loved it.
Also, I would just like to clarify that I was ambivalent about Puzz3Ds, but I was very into regular jigsaw puzzles.
And I basically stopped doing regular jigsaw puzzles and started only doing Puzz3Ds.
So it's been a little while, we think about 2 hours or so, and here is our progress. Let me show you. This is way trickier than we thought. So both of us have made pretty good progress on these brown sections. You can see we're at, basically the same point. I have decided that I need to move on to the colorful lamp section just in order to move forward and start getting these all connected to each other. Katie, do you want to talk about why this is so weird?
Yeah, this puzzle is a lot more difficult than I was anticipating, mostly because a lot of the puzzle ends up becoming a dome, and when you flatten a dome, you end up with all of these sections in between. So we're ending up with these flat sections with a lot of red dots in the middle, which makes it very hard to assemble as a flat section altogether because you're not sure what actually connects and what needs a little chunk in between.
So it's been another hour, and this is so much harder than we were anticipating.
So right now I'm working on these sections, which I think is the bottom edge of the lamp. The problem though is that there seem to be these red dot pieces in between every single one.
And that makes sense because over here I'm working more on the middle of the lamp, and you can see that it looks like these all connect to each other, but they don't quite line up because the red dot pieces, in order to make it fully flat, need to fit in between. So I keep getting sections that look like they're done, but then I have all of these dots that somehow need to fit inside what I've already put together. So this is a big, big challenge. So before we actually start building, we wanted to show you a few interesting things about the flat sheet of this puzzle. I really like how these ins and these outs are split. This, you wouldn't expect that to be in two pieces, but this little curve creates the out that sandwiches that little normal puzzle piece. And the other interesting thing is that once we build it, this piece is going to look like it connects to this piece, so that's really tricky when you're putting it together because you have to remember that there are red dot pieces that actually go between each one. But they had to design it so that the pattern repeats so that it looks like, you know, once we take these out, it looks like it's a continuous pattern. So that's a pretty impressive design. Okay, so it is 3 p.m. We sort of forgot to stop for lunch.
It's fine.
So we've been working straight through, and I just want to say that I am so impressed because the way that I do puzzles these days is not easy, and I'm so impressed that you have kept up and actually beat me at my own game.
Close. I'm not done yet.
Let me show you a little close-up of what we've been dealing with because this puzzle is so hard. I've just had the time lapse, but if I had been filming, you would have just heard us nonstop being like, nope, where does that go? What's happening? Okay, so as you can see, it's just very, very repetitive. I'm currently on all of these little guys, and pretty much any of them, since foam is kind of wiggly, they can all fit, but the pattern doesn't perfectly match up, so everything in here has had to get rearranged a million times. Also, we realized that this sheet is so big that our puzzles are overlapping, which is so fun. So what do you have left to work on? What are all of these?
So I have all of these little brown pieces, which are going to go in between these. I also think I have some errors in here that hopefully these will help me figure out. And then I still have a couple of dragonfly wings and some weird shapes that don't make sense. So I'm still rearranging.
So do you think this is a well-designed puzzle?
Well, I haven't really done a Puzz3D that ends up in a dome shape before. So I don't really have a Puzz3D that's a great thing to compare it to. There are also a couple of just quality issues. In my puzzle, there's a piece that looked very crunched that doesn't quite fit in the spot where it goes with that damage.
Yeah, and since mine has been done before, I actually don't have the scrunching quality issues. I just have, you know, normal wear and tear on a puzzle and like stickers starting to peel up, so it's been a little frustrating. Also, this is how we have been for literally this entire time, just hunched over the puzzle, trying to find like any tiny, tiny little thing that might tell us that something is wrong. I have done it! The dragonflies are done! Okay, now how do these fit in? No peeking. At the beginning, we were trying very hard not to look at each other's work, and at this point, like 5 hours in, I'm just like, show me everything you've done. Crunch, 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 crunch.
Did I end up with one of your pieces? Are you missing one of these?
No. Do we have an extra piece?
I don't think I've ever gotten an extra piece in a Puzz3D before. I'm done.
You're done? I'm almost done, and I might not do all of my little squares. Alright. I think I'm done.
These are real pieces. You gotta put those in.
Why?
Because that's part of the puzzle.
I don't want to. There, they're in.
Well, I have actually finished mine.
Maybe we can just say that Katie is still the Puzz3D master, and so she will have finished hers, and I will be 95% of the way there. It is 3:14. I think we started at like 10, so that was a little over 5 hours straight through of just solid puzzling. So maybe we'll just take a little break and then we'll actually build these lamps. This has ruined Tiffany lamps forever for me. I will forever be triggered every time I look at a Tiffany lamp now. All right. Here we go. Time for the assembly, finally. So we have decided that we should probably use the instructions just because there's this light with the wire running through it and you kind of need to get that in place correctly or else it's just not gonna work. Also, do you want to share what's going on with your light over there?
Well, it doesn't seem to work. We just put brand new batteries in it and nothing happens when I turn it on. The quality of this part of it was not the greatest.
Yeah, basically hers just has a whole lot of issues. Mine does work. This is the one from the garage sale, remember? Hers was brand new. Mine does work, but only when you get the wire in the exact right spot. I swear, it works sometimes. I mean, it was working. It emitted a very faint light. You can just picture that in your head. But I think maybe it's not working anymore, so I mean, they'll still match. They just won't function.
Yup. So the next step is to get all of our cardboard prepared, which yours mostly is already.
I had a head start, and my light is still not working. This is garbage. Garbage.
Okay, so now we have our cardboard all punched out and ready to use. So, following the instructions, our first step is going to be to fold this cardboard a little bit along the lines. Now, the next thing we're going to need is the underside of our base. And now, the next thing we're going to need are our 4 vertical supports, which is what the lamp wire will go inside.
Well then. I assume these get turned into a square, like on their sides.
Yep, but don't connect them all yet because we have to put a wire in the middle. Okay. And some cardboard.
A broken wire, that does not work.
Yes.
Oh wait, I think I just mixed our red dot pieces. Oops. I thought they were mine.
Okay, so before we put this into a cube, we want to take our vertical one. Yours is mostly assembled already.
Mine's already done. I wonder who did this previously. I wonder whose yard sale it was. If you remember doing this puzzle in New Jersey in any time in the last 20 years, this could very well have been yours. I assume we're just folding it into a little square like this.
Yeah, but you might want to put that wire through first before you connect it all.
Oh. Huh. You could have told me what we were gonna do. Wait, that's an interesting difference. Look, they redesigned a tiny part of it. Yours has a little triangle, and mine has a little circle. So they're not exactly alike. Wait, and which direction are these? Is this the top or the bottom?
I think that's the bottom.
No, this is the bottom.
No, that's the top.
No, look at... No, you're right. You're right. False alarm, she's right. Oh my god! I just had a flash of light! Oh, there it is! There it is. Do you see it? Oh! Do you see it? Are you seeing that flashing? Is that picking up? There it is!
Whenever you're ready, we can move on.
There it is! Look at how bright it is!
Wow!
I just have to hold it at exactly this angle.
So, we want to line up our cardboard on the same holes in the base, and then on the bottom of what we just put together, we have the same shaped puzzle pieces.
Does it matter which...
Yes.
Oh, the battery pack should go this way.
Also, the holes are different sizes, so you want to make sure that you have the right one in the right spot.
Oh, I see. Okay.
You should then be able to tip up these 3 little arms and slot them into the little slots that are on this vertical.
This part is actually pretty well designed.
Yeah.
This feels very secure and solid. And I have a light.
And then we want to put the battery pack in the spot where it goes.
Well, mine has tape on it, so I think maybe the person before me couldn't quite get it to stay in place. Okay, I used a secret little piece of tape to keep mine in place. Then does it say where to start? Or do you just kind of go?
Not sure it matters.
Uh-oh.
Does it matter?
It might matter. Looks like it matters.
So now we need this more decorative circle piece. And this is the first spot that we get into where we need to pull out some of the red dot pieces from inside, because this is not going to be flat. This is going to tighten up into a little mini dome. Oh, and then there's also another piece in here to fill in that gap. This one random piece that had to be shoved somewhere else in the puzzle.
This is so complicated.
This is the fun part.
As you can see, I am a little ambivalent.
It helps to have little fingers for putting some of this together.
I have that.
Next is the rest. This was step 8 to get to here, and literally step 9 is put together the rest of it.
I made the top. We're almost there. We got all that hard work, and now we're just taking it all apart.
It's an extra puzzle within the puzzle.
So we both have our domes half finished. What's next is to take these little triangle pieces and basically finish out the top of the dome. Are you doing them one by one, or are you putting it all on at once?
I think I'm gonna work my way around so I can keep adjusting the shape of the whole thing as I go.
Right. That's the thing. You kind of have to shape this one, which is a little different from most Puzz3Ds, since it's all curved and rounded.
Most of my Puzz3Ds are skyscrapers, which are very much just rectangles up and down.
Alright, so I've got my full dome. Hello. Hello out there.
Hi.
Oh wait, no, it's a hat. Look.
Cute.
The height of fashion. Puzzle hats. So next, we have this little square piece that should just slot right into the top here. And then we have this guy, which slots right into the top. So now I think this will be the trickiest part. We have to somehow get these 8 slots into the slots on the lampshade, where I don't even see where they are. Oh, there's one. Oh, there's one. Okay. Oh, I got one. This puzzle involves quite a lot of bending and turning. Okay, I think mine is fully attached. All right, I guess. Did we do it?
That's it.
Have we done it?
We did it.
Well, that was a process. Alright, so what do you think of this Puzz3D as the resident Puzz3D expert?
It was definitely more difficult than I was expecting going in. I like the colors of it. I wish some of the construction had been a little bit better, but it was still a really good challenge to work on.
It was definitely challenging, especially when you do the flat sheet the way that we did. I think if we had just tried to put it together like this from the beginning, it would have been much easier. And on the box, it says average difficulty. Do you think that's true?
I think it's really hard to compare because it's just so different from most of the other Puzz3Ds that I have done, which are just buildings.
All right, well, someday we'll be back and we will do just a normal, regular Puzz3D.
Great.
Also, I don't know if you guys can tell, but my lamp is on, right? Yeah, right here, it's on. This lamp is not very bright. Maybe I'll try to do a shot at night and we'll see if anything comes through, but I really doubt it.
Yeah, I'm pretty skeptical.
So are you going to be adding this one to your Puzz3D spreadsheet?
For sure. I keep a whole list of all of the Puzz3Ds that I have done so far, and so I'll be adding this one to the list with the statistics about it, about how long it took us, how big the sheet was.
If you guys thought that I liked statistics, the only reason I have statistics is because I send all of my data to Katie and she turns them into spreadsheets for me. So let's everybody just say a big thank you for that.
You're welcome.
So I have one more thing that I wanted to mention while we're on the topic of Puzz3Ds. So in 2009, which was 12 years ago, I gave Katie for Christmas her own custom Puzz3D, handmade by me. So you guys don't know this, but fun fact about us, we have a caboose in our backyard, a real full-size train caboose. You know, it's been there since I was like a baby, you were like 2-ish.
3?
Yeah, something like that. So, you know, basically our whole lives. So I decided to make Katie a Cavett Caboose mini Puzz3D. And I planned this out, you know, when I was home over the summer, or maybe sometime when I was home before Christmas. I had to take photos from every angle. And oops, oh no, I lost a piece. You know, I had to take photos from every angle, and then I had to build it, figure out how it would go together. I had to print it out, cut it out of foam core. Oh no, I lost another piece. But I just thought that that was a fun little piece of Karen Puzzles history. And one more thing before we go, I just want to remind all of you to head to curiositybox.com so that you can get your own curiosity box. Here, work on this for me. It looks like we have our next puzzles ready to go. So if you use code Karen10, you can get $10 off of your box. So Katie, as the guest here, you get to pick the code word for the comment that will let us know that the viewers have watched all the way to the end. So what is our code word today?
Let's go with dragonfly. We've got all these cute little purple, colorful dragonflies on our lamps.
Let us know in the comments also if you have ever done a Puzz3D and if you like them. All right, we're gonna go. Thank you for watching. Bye, everyone.
Bye!